What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Courtside Soundoff podcast. Once again, I'm Josh Evanoff. Welcome by the one and only man of the hour, too sweet to be sour, future Jiu-Jitsu world champion, Angel Ortega. We got a lot of stuff to talk about this week. Maybe not a lot, but we got a fair bit. We got UFC Vegas 86 to go over, Vegas 87 going out this weekend, as well as a boatload of news as always. Two quick sponsors to go ahead and hit before we go ahead and break into the news. Rogue Energy and ELYXR. Rogue Energy keep me fueled up no matter where I'm at, whether I'm at the gym, working out, or working at home, or watching the Chiefs advance to another Super Bowl. They keep me excited, keep me there, top of my game, and they can keep you there as well with code Soundoff at checkout for 10% of all their amazing products. ELYXR, the exact opposite with their amazing Delta 8. So whenever I like to chill out, have a pop one of those in, or you can buy a vape, or they got pre-rolls. They got it all, man. You can go ahead and get it all for code Soundoff for 10% off. ELYXR.com. Once again, RogueEnergy.com and ELYXR.com. Code Soundoff, all caps, for 10% off. Look, man, there was a UFC card going down this last weekend. If you didn't, I don't blame anybody if they didn't watch it. Dana White didn't even watch it. He was seen at Conor Benn versus Peter Dobson going down in Vegas. Nonetheless, man, in the main event, we had middleweights, and this fight was, pretty weird, in my opinion. Nassourdine Imavov defeating Roman Dolidize by majority decision. Scorecards were all over the place. 49, 44, 48, 47, one judge had it, and 48, 46. And Imavov walks away with the win. Look, man, this fight was really, really weird. At one point, Nassourdine Imavov kicked Roman Dolidize while he had his hands had one glove on the mat. I believe he had a point deducted. Nearly got into a fight with Chris Curtis in the corner. Really weird fight. Dolidize gassed out seemingly instantly. What'd you make about this fight, man? It was a pretty bizarre one.
It was weird, right? Because initially it looked like the fight should have been stopped in the first round. I kind of wish the referee would. Who was it who ref that fight, by the way? Was there Herb?
I believe it was Herb, but I don't know for sure.
Whoever it was, I would have loved to have I think it was. I think I would have loved to hear his whole reasoning and kind of afterwards what he saw that made him, let the fight continue.
Mm-hmm.
Because he must have been seeing his eyes. He must have been seeing that he was still there or something. I mean, because it's like, I feel like most other times, Josh, that could have been it right there. Like that would have been it, and no one would have questioned it. There would have been no argument in that. We ended up getting more rounds. We ended up getting 5 rounds after that. So shout out fucking Roman Dolidize for being a fucking dog. But I think for the most part he wasn't able to recover. And it's weird because I feel like Roman has looked like, when he looks good, he looks very fucking good. When he looks slightly off, there is these lapses where I'm kind of like, okay, but I know what he could be at his bets. Another thing, I'm not trying to discredit Nassoudine's victory, but let's be kind of honest here, Josh. If that's any other guy in the top 10 or top 5 in the 185, I mean, I'm saying top 5, because when we're talking about top 5 elite, I mean, we're talking about the Sean Stricklands, the Israel Adesanya's, Robert Whitakers, and now Dricus, and then who else probably seen Cherry Canyon here?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Roman Dolidize would have made it past round 2 after having such that good first round. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which kind of, and look, right, like I'm saying, you got to give credit to Roman, but I do genuinely believe that any other guy in the top 5 can probably get Roman out of there in some capacity, because Nassourdine left a door open there. I mean, I think even Roman ended up winning a round back. By the way, the most hilarious part of that I'm like, I remember when the fight ended, I was like, I need to hear these scorecards. And they were all over the place, man. No scorecards looked similar. They were all, it was either I think one was 47, 48. One was a draw, and then one was a blowout. And it was the funniest shit in the world, dude. I mean, this was the biggest shit show of fight we've had in a while in a main event.
Straight up, dude. Straight up. The scorecards were all over the place. Like I said, I mean, I said it a minute ago, but 49, 44, 48, 46, 47, 47. For the record, dude who gave it 47, 47. It's wild. I don't get.
Well, he didn't give a 10-8 first round, which was weird. But
yeah, that guy, Ron McCarthy, giving a vow to 48, 47. Definitely bizarre. But anyways, Yeah, man, a very strange fight. I mean, I feel like that's the best way to put it. You mentioned how any other high-level guy inside the top five would have gotten him out of there, and part of me wonders if it's just a Ferdinand Lopez thing. I understand he's not with him anymore. I think he left late last year. Nassourdine Imavov did, but I feel like, man, like guys that come out of that camp that have been with him a long time, they can't really finish well for whatever reason. And there's a fight that he really should have finished, especially in the fifth. Man, I mean, Roman Dolidize, he needed some oxygen, dog. Like he was out, man. He was winded, and Nassourdine couldn't get him out of there. I mean, it was a good performance. Like, I mean, on paper, it was a relatively, like, I'm gonna say dominant, but he clearly won in my opinion.
He shut that shit down, dude. That's what you're trying to say. He shut down everything that Roman was trying to do.
Correct. I mean, Dolidize, I think he won the second, if I remember correctly. But outside of that, I don't think I gave him any rounds. And yeah, man. I mean, he did it. It was a very, it was a good win for him. Good win. It was not the win that I wanted to see out of the Nassourdine. I think coming off of like his weird kind of fights, which it is honestly kind of funny that he just keeps on facing like extreme couture guys. Like this is third in a row, like Strickland, Curtis, and then Dolidize. It is pretty funny. But yeah, man. I mean, not exactly what I wanted to see out of him. I still think this kid has a lot of potential. He's still only 28 years old. But man, time's a ticking. Like this is a performance that like he should have gotten them out of there. And Dolidize is a talented guy, but like man, especially in that fifth round, whenever Nassourdine didn't seem to be breathing hard, and it felt like he could have gone for finish. It seemed like he could have gotten them out of there, and he just didn't. I was a little bit disappointed with that. On the opposite side of Roman Dolidize, man, I feel like we've found his ceiling. A good guy, top 15 guy, no doubt. But I mean, he got that lost to Vettori and now got worked by Imavov. So interested to see where both those guys do moving forward, man. In terms of Nassourdine, who do you want to see him face next? I think a rematch with Chris Curtis makes the most sense. Give him an Apex main event, 5 rounds.
I thought about that. I'm actually pulling up the 185 rankings right now because you got my brain going. Give me 1 second here. Bam. I'd say, and by the way, Nassourdine's 8, which is very weird to me because I'm like, I don't think any fight in front of him is particularly very good. But I think the one I thought about on the night of was Marvin Vettori, the guy who beat Roman Dolidize. Marvin's sitting at 5. Paulo Costa scheduled against Robert Whittaker. Brendan Allen, he doesn't have a fight scheduled, does he?
I could check, but I think he's unbooked as of now. I think him and Vettori might be unbooked too.
Oh, no, they are booked together. My bad.
No shit. All right. Well, that's funny.
Okay, well, I think you should get out of the winner or loser of that, or fight Jared Cannon here.
Yeah, Jared's been calling for a fight. He said he wants UFC 300.
I want him to see him fight one of those 3 guys.
Yeah.
In some capacity at some point. I just don't think... I mean, that's the only fight I'd be interested in. And I don't want to see him fight down. I want to see him fight up. I mean, you already pushed him this much. I mean, there's no reason to slow down.
I get that. I just think he has got that unfinished business with Chris Curtis. They nearly went at it in the Apex, man. Like on the weekend, like I don't know. I think it makes a lot of sense. Both of them going off wins. But that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. And I think that's a good shout to have probably either the winner or loser of Brendan Allen and our boy Marvin Vettori. I think that makes sense. But that's just my opinion. Regardless, I think we should go ahead and move one down because, man, I feel like the real star of the night was Renato Moicano. The man wants money and he now has a brother.
Little brother.
Little brother, man. Shout out Renato Moicano, man. Defeats Drew Dober in the co-main event. Unanimous decision 29-28 across the board. Nice win for him. Basically what we'd expected in terms of his pathway to victory. What'd you make about his pulling off the win?
I mean, he did what he had to do to win. I'll tell you what. I mean, I didn't think it was a bad fight. He was getting shit on a lot on Twitter. I don't know if you saw that. I mean, the real performance bonus of the night came because of the speech we got afterwards,
Yeah.
Another great Moicano post-fight speech, promo, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I mean, he definitely knows how to sum himself. I think the real thing that we got out of this fight was Paddy Pimblett called out Moicano.
Yep.
Which Moicano wants money, right?
And that's the money fight, dude.
And Paddy, we need to see him get pushed, and then he'll get him ranked. I don't see anything wrong here with this option.
No, there is nothing wrong with it. And also, I think the thing is, I think Paddy's going to take it because of the top 15 guys, I really don't think he has them. Moicano's not easy, so I hope people don't think it's the wrong way. But, like, it is, of the stylistic matchups for him in the top 15, probably one of the best. Yeah. One of the best ones for him.
Moicano beat the guy I wanted Paddy to fight, I said this way back whenever Drew Dober and Bobby Green fought, I thought that was the next fight for Paddy, either one of those guys, because they presented a challenge that I thought would be interesting for him on defeat. But now both those guys are coming off losses, and Paddy's doesn't have any currently. So, and he just fought Tony Ferguson. He needs to stay. I think, for one, they need to give him harder matchups and relevant matchups at 155, and I think Moicano is definitely the choice here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the fight to make. And I think Paddy said he's looking at a July return, I want to say. And that gives Moicano some time to heal. Run it next. It makes the most sense, man. Especially for Paddy, man. If he's looking to break into the top 15, you're not going to get much easier. Not easier, but, like, better stylistic matchup than that. Like, and it's time to push Paddy, dude. It's time. Like, I understand some people are like, oh, he's still young. But Paddy's, he's almost 29 now?
Yeah, he's on the verge of 30, bro.
Yeah, man. Turned 29 last month, dude. So it's time. It's time to push Paddy, and that's a great fight to make. So yeah, I'd love to see that one next. In terms of the rest of the card, man, looking down, UFC Vegas 86. We had some big fights, man. Which one do you most want to highlight?
I mean, look, Josh. Let's be honest. It was rough, There was a good moment still that. Oh, actually, before we get this going, what did you rate this card out of 10?
I mean, I'll be honest with you, man. Probably I'm not gonna remember this card in T-2 days, so I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10. And in fact, I'll be honest with you, I've already forgotten a fair bit of it.
Look, that's probably what I should give it, but I'm gonna be a nice guy and give it a 6. I honestly probably should give it a 5. I'm something. I am leaning a 5. I think that's out of all time, Josh. I think that's my all-time low score. I know we're not keeping track of them, but I know that we've thrown some out there. And
you can go IGN, give it a 5.3 or something.
No, dude. This is a fucking 5. The only reason this shit isn't lower is because there was, like I said, there was a few good feel moments. We got to talk about them. Starting off, I later in the card, because we're gonna try to. Oh, dude, actually, fuck that. We're gonna kind of double back real quick. This shit show that happened, dude. Aliskhov Kirzerov, I just butchered that name, versus Makhmed Muradov. Holy fuck, dude. Kirzerov?
Mm-hmm.
We haven't seen this guy fight in 2 years. Before that, his debut got delayed. He won in the contender season and fight for another 2 years. He finally fights in 2022. There's another delay last year with the fight. Doesn't able to fight. This year, he finally fights. Almost 2 years to the date. Next month will be 2 years. He fights, accidental fucking eye poke. First round, 11 seconds in. Fight doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
I am so I was so unbelievably fucking disappointed, Josh. Little did I know that what else would fucking come up later on in the card, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean I want to say it's the fastest no contest in UFC history, MMA history. I know it was faster than Yair and Jeremy Stevens, I believe. So
I don't doubt it, dude. It has to be fucking up there.
11 seconds. Yeah, Yair and Jeremy Stevens, they were 15. So just beat him. Just came under the wire, bro.
That's a big hard record to beat, man. Let me tell you.
Yeah, I mean that's an all-time hilarious situation. That's probably the only reason why it's not a. That's the only thing that made me give the card a higher rating. Honestly, I was gonna give it a 4 out of 10 before that happened.
Dude, I am in disbelief. Kirzerov. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Dude, you're good.
His career has been delayed 4 years. I don't know what all it's been, but the fact that it's been delayed for 4 years, I don't know what all the factors are. I'm sure there's visa issues and all that. Mm-hmm. Sure, maybe COVID played a factor. He is coming out of Russia, and we know that we're all well aware of the whole situation in Russia. And he has pulled out of some of his fights too. I will note that too. But it's just like, what the fuck, man? You know, like so much time lost. And I feel like the guy is good, but he's 33 going on 34 later this year. They're totally going to try to rebook this at some point. I imagine so, or at least try to give these guys some sort of fight back soon. But I'm just so utterly disappointed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely pretty disappointing, man. I mean, like you said, it was probably a bit of COVID, a little bit of the Russia situation playing a role. But yeah, I mean, we still have literally no idea how good this guy is. So hopefully they rebook this one quick. I mean, I might as well throw him on fucking, I don't know, like when's the next Apex card? Like, actually, they don't have an Apex card for a couple weeks. So just fucking throw him on either that Mexico card or 298, man. You know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
obviously, Apex card passed this week, I mean, because I'm sure they need a little bit more time. But, yeah, dude, absolutely crazy. But, yeah, I got to go ahead and also, I got to shout out. Also happening on the main card. Our boy, Rude Boy, Randy Brown, dude. We mentioned Muslim Salikov, and I was like, man, he's getting up there in age, and he's a guy that, like, very entertaining. I wish he would have came to the UFC sooner. But, man, just absolutely got flattened by Randy Brown, dude. This is a guy, like I said, who hitting his 30s, seems to be hitting his prime, dude. I mean, one loss in his last, I believe, 8 fights. Like, dude's killing it right now. What'd you make of him?
Good. I mean, I don't know if he's getting it together, but I mean, they talk about it on the broadcast, dude. I mean, he came into the UFC 5-0, you know, back in 2015. I mean, next year will be a decade of him in the UFC. He's 33 years old. You know, there was he has to. You would think that at some point he had, you know, it was going to come together and he was going to show out. And maybe it's now, dude. You know, I know that Jack Hermansson lost early last year. Wasn't that long ago. Obviously, the Vicente Luque loss back in 2020 did slow everything down a little bit. But look, I mean, if those are the two guys who lost to a recent time, I don't think you could be that upset at Randy Brown because look at where Jack Madeline is at. Look how far, you know, Vicente Luque was like nothing away from getting himself in the title picture if he would have beat Bilal Muhammad back in 2022. So maybe he's turning a leaf here and maybe he'll be able to break through and make some noise in 170. But 170's a stacked division, man. So he has a hard road ahead of him.
He really does. And that Jack Della Maddalena loss did not help his case moving forward. But yeah, super entertaining guy. I really want to see him stay active, man. I really think since 2020, man, he's just been killing it. So very excited to see him moving forward. In terms of the rest of the card, man, Molly McCann moved down, first fight down to strawweight. She looked good, man. She looked real good. Looked to be in great shape. Now, granted, facing Deanna Belbita, she already beat once before. And you know, I like Deanna, but she's not a top 15 girl. You know what I mean? She's struggled a lot. So yeah, I mean, not exactly a shocking win there for Meatball. Luana Carolina defeating our girl Julia Stoliarenko. Stoliarenko rolled her ankle in the first round and fucking.
Whoa! Yeah. What a fucking set of words right there, by the way.
Well, I'm not. Have you seen the screenshot of it?
Yeah, I have.
Terrifying. It's somebody who's fucking dislocated their ankle before. Ankle shit kind of fucks me up, you know. So, yeah, that was a bit hard to watch. So I hate seeing that. Stoliarenko though, still very entertaining. Big fan of her. Demba Drimbo. I feel bad for always. I never know how to pronounce his name, honestly. But defeating Pete Rodriguez. Dude, Pete Rodriguez, I will say this much: the most killer be killed guy in the UFC right now. Straight the fuck up.
Is he the DTF fighter of the week?
Yeah, fuck it, why not? He's our DTF fighter of the week. I mean, Pete Rodriguez, 5-2, you know, out of the MMA lab. He's 1-2 in the UFC. You know, he faced Jack Della Maddalena at UFC 270, and that fight, which lasted all of 3 minutes, was just them fucking winging bombs at one another. Came back, knocked out friend of the show Mike Jackson, and then he went in and got knocked out by Themba, and you know, they were winging bombs. So it was really only a matter of time in that fight too. So man, I feel bad for Pete, but damn, that dude is entertaining, dog. So big fan of him, dude. Even though he came out all the losing.
Dude, feel good moment for Themba, right? Too.
100, yeah, 100%.
By the way, By the way, the fact that he could get a bonus is fucking insane to me.
Absolutely crazy. I genuinely can't believe it.
I thought he was gonna definitely get it. Dude, like I want to talk a little bit more about them, but I mean,
Yeah.
by the way, shout out to him for helping his community out. Because I don't know if you know this, Josh. This guy like has helped like his hometown, and I think he even refers to it as his village back in Zimbabwe, in like many of ways. Like he isn't just taking care of himself; he's taking care of a community, and he like built like this thing there to get water into the community. He's trying to build. His next step is to build a library. Like this guy is the ultimate like good guy, right? Like despite of being in not that long ago in a situation where he's sleeping in the gym in a corner on a fucking couch, to getting a house gifted to by him by The Rock,
Yeah.
now having like a decent following on Instagram where brands are reaching out to him to promote and making money not just from fighting but also from other stuff. And on top of that, Josh, he said he wants championship fights, Josh, and he told Hunter that he wants to talk to him, get some stuff sorted out, get the contract changed around because he wants some harder fights. And I mean, once again, dude, it's 170. It's fucking hard, It's hard. But if they're able to talk to him and his manager, settle, I'm sure they find a good deal. But they're definitely going to push him for it. I think it's definitely possible that you get some high profile names. I'm not sure what those names will be, but I could definitely see a push for it.
No, I agree, dude. I agree. And he's a guy that, like, he did start off his career in the UFC with a loss to AJ Fletcher, but no shame in that. I mean, he's rebounded with 2 big wins. Like you said, he has a great story. And, maybe if they give him the right matchups, I could see him going on a run. I mean, 170, like, at the top level, obviously insanely stacked. But, like, he's supposed to fight before Pete Rodriguez stepped in, he was supposed to fight Kiefer Crosby. That's a good matchup for him. You know what I mean? Like, you should rebook that one. Like, I could see if they give him the right fights, he can go on a run. I would be very unsurprised, Just my opinion, obviously. But the guy has a great story, and I'm a big fan of him. I'd love to see what he can do moving forward. But we also, I mean, just to kind of move on a little bit, there are some other fights. Charles Johnson, dude, turning in a fucking performance, dude. I mean, flyweight, Azat Maksum, undefeated out of Kazakhstan, and looked to be the real deal in the first round. And then Charles Johnson just came storming back, dude. I mean, what a win by him. Kansas is finest. I know he doesn't. I don't think he trains out of Kansas anymore, but he was born in Kansas, so we'll fucking claim him. In the same way that we'll claim Tim Elliott still, and who else? Johnny Eblin. I think he went to school in Kansas City, so we'll claim him too. So we're claiming all these guys. But big win by Charles Johnson, dude. And the kid's young enough to come back. But flyweight's popping right now. I think there's only one other guy to note. Charles Radke. We have DTF fighter of the week. I don't know what we could call him of the week, but man. Big knockout win over Gilbert Urbina, and then he went to the press conference and said that the press, they should have to pay him for these interviews, and then they just stopped asking him questions.
Fire.
Which was fire, and I thought that was a really I've had my issues with some of the press scrum media, like the media members who typically do those sort of things. Hilarious moment, not asking him any other questions because, dude. We've seen some other guys do this recently, like more lower tier guys. I can't even think of the last guy who said this, who was like, "Oh, you need to pay me for interviews." It wasn't. I know Patty said it, but Patty, at least Patty's like a big enough star. You know what I mean? Like that makes sense. By
the way, I just had a WTF moment because I had to look up this Johnny Evelyn shit. I just found out the fucking Johnny Evelyn's mom is Korean.
Oh shit.
And I'm looking at Johnny Evelyn, and I don't see it.
I don't see it whatsoever. By the way, I found out the guy. The guy that also said that you should do interviews, you should have to pay him, was Cedric Dumas, who is 2-1 in the UFC now.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, he's another guy. There's a couple of these young guys, man, who are like, you got to pay me for interviews. My time is worth this. And it's like, man, I think the UFC should just pay you more. It's not really. I'm not sure how much you guys think the media members make, but it's not nearly as much Or in some cases, it's actually more than you guys, but still, that's your problem and the UFC's problem. Yeah, man. I will say, though, personally, I would have taken the opposite approach with, the Charles Radke thing. I probably would have asked as many questions I possibly could in that time frame. I would have not let up the mic. I would have started, by the end of it, I would have been asking about, like, who's your 8th grade best friend? You know what I mean? I would have asked fucking, because I'm not going to, I don't have to pay him. He's up there, So I did find that moment to be very funny. So anyways, yeah, this card was a 5 out of 10. And it is what it is, man. It was a card. It was an event that happened. I don't think I'm going to rewatch any of these fights in the future ever again. That being said, we do have it's a solid UFC Apex card. I think, I read a stat that since the UFC came back in 2020, in May 2020, half of the events have been at the UFC Apex, which, I think is honestly killing the sport. Yeah, I don't know how you feel about that. I think that's probably genuinely killing the sport because it's really hard to get people intrigued when half of your events are just throwaway events that everybody knows. At the same time, though, this UFC Vegas Age 6 card, credit where it's due, is pretty solid. In the main event, we have the rising Joe Pyfer. Apparently, he hits harder than Francis Ngannou, I've heard. Riding a 4-fight winning streak inside the octagon, coming off a submission win over Abdul Razak Al Hassan back in October, will be taking on Jack Hermansson. Big fight for him, man. I mean, to go from Abdul Razak Al Hassan to a guy inside the top 15, ranked number 11, big opportunity for him. And Hermansson himself, the Joker, struggled as of late. 2-2 in his last 4, coming off a knockout, lost to Roman Dolidize in December. What do you make of this matchup, man? Big opportunity for Joe Pyfer.
I mean, clearly you see what they're trying to do here. I mean, they want to push Joe Pyfer into the rankings. We've talked about it multiple times where we can tell like the UFC has interest in Joe Pyfer. They're pushing Joe Pyfer to to the light. That's why they put him here in this matchup. Because he's only had like, I mean, I thought it was 3 UFC fights officially. And to be honest, the level of competition, not to be disrespectful, hasn't been enough to be like, okay, this guy's ready for that 185 push. Not saying that he's not, but kind of he didn't necessarily look like he had that build up as far as in competition get to the ranked opponents, I should say, because he went from Alan Amadovsky, I don't even know if that guy's in the UFC, no disrespect, to Gerald Meerschaert, which look, Gerald Meerschaert's a dog. He'll definitely beat the guys who don't deserve to be in the rankings. And then Abdul Razak Al Hassan, which we know how he's going to try to win a fight.
Yeah.
To now Jack Hermansson, who is primarily, or we know kind of can be very successful in the grappling. I mean, we obviously we know we saw him not too long ago have a pretty safe victory against Chris Curtis back in England way back, was it like 2-3 years ago? I can't even remember. And so, yeah, I mean, to me, this is obviously they have interest in a young guy. They're trying to push out a older dog, but at the same time, this older dog is very competitive and has a good skill set and has a positive record in the UFC.
Yeah. I mean, it's a big opportunity, man. Like you laid it out. Joe Pyfer, his wins, I mean, you mentioned Alan Amadovsky, just confirmed, no longer part of the UFC. Gerald Meerschaert, we know the story. I mean, aging veteran. And same thing for even Abdul Razak Al Hassan. I mean, he's 38 years old, and ever since he had his legal troubles, which admittedly he was found, not guilty and yada, 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 he's struggled a lot too. So for Joe Pyfer, big opportunity for him. Very unproven guy, but this is kind of the big opportunity for him. Taking a quick look at the betting odds for this one. As of now, we have, if I can find them. Yeah, as of now, according to, I'm not going to say the site, they're not going to pay me. But according to a betting site that me and Angel both use, Joe Pyfer is a minus 275. Jack Hermansson coming back as a plus 220. Pretty shocking, in my opinion, to be quite honest with you. I'll be honest with you, I'm going to pick Joe Pyfer to win. But I think that's, almost a 3-1 favorite whenever he hasn't even faced anybody even close to the top 15 is pretty surprising to me. What do you make? Who do you officially got in this one?
I got Joe Pyfer, but at the same time, I'm just like, if Jack Hermansson comes out here and does something, we shouldn't be shocked. But I think what everybody's kind of consensus thinking is that Joe Pyfer will go in there and blast Jack Hermansson, which is very, very possible. I mean, at the moment, that's kind of what he's showing he's capable of. And look, Joe Pyfer has a strong grappling game, a good grappling base. So definitely do not doubt him on the ground. He's definitely no slouch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. I mean, both these guys are pretty well rounded, honestly. Like Jack Hermansson doesn't really get the credit I think he deserves for his striking on the feet. He's very competent. But yeah, I'm gonna go and take Joe Pyfer. Same for you, obviously, and we'll see if this kid's the real deal, man. I mean, he's getting a big UFC push right now. I
think he is. I mean, I think if I'm gonna be honest, I think he is. I'm just shocked at the level the UFC is like going full force on this kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not trying to be mean, but as a star, I don't see it. I mean, maybe we just need to give it time, but like.
Yeah, he has a good story. You know, he's personality. You know, maybe it's not. Sean Strickland.
Yeah.
It's not. But he's himself, and that's all that matters. You know, that's what you want out of guys. You want guys to be genuine, and people always appreciate you being yourself.
Yeah.
No matter what. So definitely, I hope he never changes. And this guy's definitely built for this shit.
Yeah, but like I said, I do find it a little bit of the guys they could be pushing in the UFC, and like, does Joe Pyfer really need the whole Francis Ngannou comps and going on JRE this early and getting this main event early and yada yada? I don't know, but I guess we'll find out this Saturday, so that's the fun thing. Won't have to wait long to find out this kid's the real deal. And like I said, I think he is super talented. I mean, 27 years old, like.
Because this is a big fight, man. Yeah. Like, this is a big fight. If he fights again this year, his next fight's going to be huge, too. Whoever they give him.
Exactly. And he's good, man. He's really good. So, we'll see, man. We'll see. Very excited for this matchup, though. Should be a banger. Also, in the co-main event, should be another banger. I mean, 50K, Dan Ige, coming off a loss to Bryce Mitchell in September. That was a pretty competitive one. Prior to that, he won 2 in a row. Taking on Andre Touchy-Feely, all like long-time UFC veteran. We know the story here. Very competent on the feet, very entertaining guy. Coming off a knockout win over Lucas Almeida in December at UFC 296, and making the quick turnaround here, replacing Lerone Murphy. Who do you got on this one, man? This one should be a banger.
I got Danny Ige, man. I think Danny Ige will just be able to I think he's just slightly better than Feely on the feet, like slightly cleaner.
Mm-hmm. No, that's fair. That's absolutely fair. And betting wise, he is the favorite, very slight one. I'm actually going to take Andre Feely for the upset win here. I've been very impressed with his last couple of fights. Not exactly. Granted, he lost to Nathaniel Wood, but that was a very competitive fight. I feel like he's been just on the verge of kind of cracking into the rankings and making a run. Like, if you've seen those, like the Daniel Pineda fight, for example, where he was dominating before the eye poke. You know what
Banger fight, by the way.
He had a very competitive fight with Bryce Mitchell a couple of years ago now. Nearly handed him his first loss. Obviously, like, and he's coming off a knockout win. He's the longer guy here. He's the taller guy. I don't know, man. I just got a feeling. I think this fight's going to take place mostly on the feet, and on the feet, I think they're competitive, but I think Andre Feely's going to have a better game plan. I feel he's going to be able to have and use his reach better as well. So I'm going to take Andre Feely for the upset, man. It's probably just because I like the guy a lot, but he's a live dog here. He's a live dog, and you can't really write him off. And if he wins this one, he'd be straight back into the rankings for the first time in, I mean, I want to say a long time, but I don't even know when Andre Feely was actually ever in the rankings to begin with. So, yeah, it'll be interesting, man. It'll be interesting. You know, in regards to the rest of this card, like I said, there is a couple of bangers on here, man. A bunch of recognizable names. Which fights are you most looking forward to on UFC Vegas 86?
I mean, it has to be the other. I mean, to be honest, it has to be the 2 other 85er fights. Brad Tavares, Gregory Rodriguez, a.k.a. RoboCop Josh. Rodolfo Vieira, Armin Petrosian. I mean, those are definitely my big matchups for the night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, fair enough, man. Fair enough. And I said Vegas 86, Vegas 87, my bad. That one should be a banger. Both two young-ish dudes on the rise. But not really young, but like You know what I mean? Like young in UFC years, essentially.
But see, both these guys are in their 30s, bro. Both
Yeah, but like in terms
33,
of like fight miles, I mean, like they're both.
Oh yeah, they got like compared to the other two guys I mentioned, yeah, it's a lot less fights. I mean, Brad Tavares has 28 fights and Gregory Rodriguez has 20 fights or 19 fights. My bad.
Yeah, I believe Haldolfo Vega and Armand Petrosyan, I think they have like a combined like 22 fights or something. Like something. Yeah, exactly. 22 combined. So, I like both those fights, and have you mentioned them? I'm really excited for the return of the menace, Michael Johnson, still doing the damn thing at 37 years old. Coming off a loss to Carlos Diego Ferreira, that's all right though. He's still 2-2 in his last 4. He brought it back after a really rough stretch from 2019 to 2022. He's brought it back, man. So excited to see him back. Taking on Darius Flowers, and I saw that, Darius Flowers, I guess Michael Johnson said like he blocked him on social media because he wouldn't stop getting in his mentions fucking with him. So at media day, he was like, man, this guy just won't get off my dick, man. Like, so excited to see MJ back, man. In terms of the prelims, there's also some other bangers too. I mean, I decided to see Trevor Giles back. Devin Clark taking on Marcin Prachnio.
It's low-key a banger, dude.
I'm happy. I'm happy you agree. Should be a banger, man. I also got to shout out Max Griffin, who always comes to bang, taking on Jeremiah Wells, who prior to loss against Carlson Harris was undefeated in the UFC. Another guy who's like, he's 37 years old, so time is a ticking. But if he could put things together, maybe he can make a run. Zach Pauga, obviously former Ultimate Fighter veteran, can be coming back here. And also, I always got to shout out my girl Loma Lookinbee. Huge fan of Loma Lookinbee. Always puts on a fucking show. And taking on Bruna Brazil here on the prelims at women's strawweight. Should be a pretty fun one.
By the way, almost a year to the date when we'll see her again.
Really?
It's the last time I saw her. Yeah.
Damn, you're right. Yeah. February 12th, 2023. The submission winner release read. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, big fan of Loma Lookinbee, man. You can tell, like, I don't know. She's always been very entertaining, and also I appreciate a good woman's striking match. You know what I mean? Not all of them, not a lot of them that you can tell that she's been training in Muay Thai her whole life. You know what I mean? But anyways, in regards to this card, man, that's all we got. I mean, it's an Apex card. You what you see is what you get, and it's better than most. So let's hope that it lives up to the hype. In regards to this card, any closing thoughts on it, man, before we're gonna move on to the news?
No, nothing else. Like I said, week in, week out, man. I'm always excited to come back next week, recap all the fights, and next week we have a fucking pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes, we do, man, and super excited for that one. And that fight, I mean, in terms of like fights in MMA that are currently scheduled, I think Volkanovski Topuria is my most anticipated. Like, I'm not gonna break into the preview obviously because it's just a week away, but holy shit, dude! I mean, on paper that one is just it's good. That's gonna be a banger of a fight, man. That being said, we do have a little bit of news. I say a little bit because admittedly, nothing's really happened in the last week. Been a quiet week, man, and that's kind of what happens when we have these sort of Apex events. Just not a whole lot going on. That being said, we did get a little bit more news. In fact, we got a little bit of clarification. Conor McGregor previously announced that he will be fighting Michael Chandler on June 29th in International Fight Week. However, according to Dana White, that fight, once again, which was previously targeted for UFC 300 in April, has been postponed. Dana White appeared on the Pat McAfee show yesterday, I believe, doing some Super Bowl media, and he announced that Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler is now postponed to the fall. Once again, he declined to give a fight date. Angel, first reaction to finding out that news, man.
What is happening? I need answers, Josh. I need answers, and I don't know when or will or if I will get them, but I fucking need them. I don't know how the fuck I'm gonna get them, but I fucking need them because I have been told this fight's gonna happen several different fucking times. I mean, Josh, are we going? Has it been 2 years now since that Ultimate Fighter season, or has it only been 1 year?
It's only been 1 year. It was last summer, I believe. Wait a minute.
It feels like forever ago, though. Now.
I know, dude. I know. I mean, it's, Conor has said over the last couple of months, he said it's a UFC thing. He says it's not on him. And, with USADA no longer around, I genuinely don't know what could be holding it back. I have no idea. Visa issues, but even then, probably not. They could just have him fight in Abu Dhabi if that were the case. But it's fucking bizarre, dude. It's really bizarre, and I don't know what they're. I'm at the point where I don't think Conor's ever gonna fight again. You know what I mean? It doesn't even seem like it's a him issue. I don't know what the issue could be. I saw some people have speculated over the last few months that maybe the UFC just doesn't want to pay his massive purse. Which is possible. I mean, they are in cost-cutting mode. I mean, this is just from what we've learned throughout the UFC antitrust lawsuit. They've been cutting down fighter. I mean, UFC fighter pay is it peaked at 20% of revenue, but now it's all the way down to 13%. You know what I mean? So they're still cutting more costs in terms of fighter pay. So maybe they just want to keep it lower. It could be that. I genuinely don't know though. I have no idea why they keep on postponing, because it is still genuinely the biggest fight they can make. I understand that there's a lot of stars in the UFC today. Alex Pereira, I feel like he's a guy that is on the rise, and I think he's a massive star. You know what I mean? Just one example. But I don't think anybody compares to Conor McGregor, dude. You still see from the buzz that he just does anything, and it's still huge. And even then, whenever he fought, Dustin Poirier, his last fight, I think that fight was one of the biggest in UFC pay-per-view history. I think it did 1.6 million pay-per-view buys. So it's
if Conor's fighting, fans will show up.
Correct. It doesn't matter. Dude, he could fight a fucking broomstick, and it's million pay-per-view buys, dude. That's the way it is. I mean,
he could fight one of us, and people would still watch it.
Oh well, I mean, if he fought us, we'd build it up. I mean,
we'd sell the fuck out of that, dude. We make it seem like we could possibly win.
100%. I'd start training with I'd start training with Dustin Poirier. I'd have that story. Play the mind games. Yeah, I'd own that.
You're gonna bring in Joe Duffy, Habib, and Dustin Poirier.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna go out to Dagestan if it happens. Yeah, I'm gonna be out there with Habib.
You're gonna celebrate Ramadan, dude. You're gonna do the whole bit.
100. I didn't tell you. I've actually converted to Muslim now. I'm actually converted to Islam.
You're gonna get
my name is Abdul Wallahi.
Is that your Monte name now?
It is. That's his name now, bro.
I fucking knew it. AKA Gervonta Davis.
AKA, yeah, exactly. I don't look, dude. Yeah. I don't know what the deal is with Conor and Chandler. I made a joke. I don't think we talked about this on the show, but Manny Pacquiao announced that he's out of retirement, and he said he wants to fight either Gervonta Davis, Ryan Garcia, or Conor McGregor. And I made a joke that the year is 2027. Manny Pacquiao is preparing for his trilogy with Conor McGregor. Michael Chandler is still patiently awaiting McGregor's return. Yeah, man. If I'm Chandler, I don't know. I genuinely wonder if Conor's just trying to wait out Chandler or something. He just doesn't want to fight him, so because he said he doesn't want to fight him. He says it's a UFC thing, so it's maybe that's it. Because every single time it brings up a comeback, and he's like, "Yeah, man, I really want to fight back in the octagon," and it's they're like, "What about Michael Chandler?" He's like, he's a little thing. I don't really want to fight him. It's just yeah. So yeah, man,
He's like, yeah, I don't want to fuck with that, but proper 12.
I'll fight Justin Gaethje any day.
What's his new thing? The stout forward? I don't even know.
Oh yeah, the Irish stout.
Irish stout.
No, Irish stout. Anyways, man, I mean, I don't know what the fuck the deal is. We'll see what's going on, man. We'll see. We'll see if this fight ever happens. Probably not. I think I'm at the point where it's nah, man, I don't think so. That being said, go ahead and keep it moving. Rampage Jackson announced last week that he's going to be boxing Shannon the Cannon Briggs in Qatar on June 1st. He, in an interview with Ariel Helwani, he said that this is not just, this is not just a one-off for him. He said he's back fighting. Not only is he back fighting, he wants to fight Rashad Evans, and he also wants to fight Wanderlei Silva in rematches as well. Any interest in seeing some old guy fights in 2024?
Sure, fuck it, why not? Get these guys paid. But what the fuck does Vanderlei? I haven't seen Vanderlei in like in eternity. What the fuck is Vanderlei just like living life?
I think so. He's coaching his son. His son is fighting, I believe. Outside of that, I have no idea. I think Vandy's just chilling. I think he's just chilling, which would be good for him. But man, if they rekindle man, that'd be crazy. 5 fights between Vandy and Rampage if they end up booking it.
No fucks to give, right?
Absolutely insane, dude. I mean, I'm down for it, dude. I like to see these old guys get paid. I mean, if they got nothing else to do, and I'd much rather, like, and they're fighting guys around their same age and skill set. You know, they're probably not going to get too much damage. Like, and let's be honest here, these guys have been fighting their entire lives anyway. The damage is done. If they're worried about
Damn,
CTE,
Josh.
it's true. I mean, it's true. It's true. I'm not wrong. You know, like, you know, I'm right about this. But yeah, I mean, I'm down to do it. I'm down to see it, and
Fucking villain out here, dude.
I'm not wrong, bro. You can't even tell me I'm wrong. But yeah, I mean, I'm down to see it. I'm down to see it. Yeah, might as well fucking book it. What's Ryzen doing? Book Vandy versus Rampage 5. Why not? Although I think he said he actually wants to face him in a boxing match. So I don't know. Anyways, man. Next up, the PFL, man, has been. You know, I don't know what's up with the PFL, man. They announced their Bellator card slated for later this month in Saudi Arabia, and we were like, man, where's Kayla Harrison from Chris Cyborg? And then, you know, a couple days later, they announced Kayla Harrison was signing with the UFC. They decided to let her go, and now Chris Cyborg, you know, say what you will, she's past her prime, she's almost 40 years old, but I still think she's one of the biggest stars they have under their roster. She said that they've said they're not going to book her until the end of the year, and she's tried to call and get in contact with them, and they're refusing to book her. And she even took to Twitter and was like, "I see why Kayla Harrison left."
Oh shit!
And she's also said she teased the UFC return. She's like, "I'll do it anything, dude. I'm tired of waiting because it's been 3 months now that the Bellator and PFL deal has been done."
Wait, so are her and Pacheco not going to happen then?
If it happens, it looks like they're going to make her wait. Looks like they're making her sit on the shelf for a while.
Interesting.
Yeah. Interesting, man. I mean, admittedly, I don't know what's going on with the PFL, man. I feel like they had a lot of momentum in November, and they have a big card coming up. But, like, man.
They slow down a little bit. They slow down.
They have slowed down a lot. And Chris Cyborg, man, like I said, say what you will, she's still one of the biggest fighters, like, in terms of, you know, popularity that they have on their roster, whether it be PFL or Bellator. Like, and that Larissa Pacheco fight is still a big one. That's genuinely, if you're going to make fights for Chris Cyborg, there's only a couple of big ones left. You know, Kayla Harrison was one of those. That can't happen. You know, a Nunes rematch, that's off the table. I mean, Nunes is retired now, and, you know, who knows if she'll ever return to the UFC, Cyborg.
I mean, but she didn't fully close the door that not too long ago.
Correct. Well, that's exactly, yeah. She said she wants to come back to the UFC if PFL's not going to book her. So, you know, and then Nunes teased that she might come back. So, I mean, it makes logical sense. But yeah,
could you imagine Cyborg back in the UFC, Amanda Nunes return, Kayla Harris in the UFC? Holy fuck! What a time for the women's division if that happened. Ronda Rousey return at UFC 300.
Oh Jesus, yeah. I mean, I would. We talked about it on the show. I think Ronda comes back right now and submits Raquel Pennington in a round. Honestly, I'm not even joking. But I also think that's just because the division's gotten so bad. Like, no offense to Rocky, man, but like every person that she has lost to, like, like they're either way past their prime or retired now, and that's what it took for her to get the title. I feel like it perfectly reflects the state of the division.
She waited it out. No,
she did wait it out, not intentionally, but. I mean, I was happy for her to win the gold, but damn, dude, like I really do think Ronda Rousey could come back today and beat Raquel Pennington. But that's just my thoughts, man. Just my thoughts. And I saw that Raquel Pennington was talking about Kayla Harrison, and she was like, you know, if she beats Holly Holm, she doesn't deserve a title shot. Still, she can't skip the line. It's like, man, she's trying hard to hold on to that thing, huh?
Not in this game, man. Not in this game. We know that better than anybody else. We know it shouldn't be like that, but it's like that.
Yeah, let's be honest here. If she beats Holly Holm, that's the same way Mayra Bueno Silva got a title shot. So it's like, what are you talking about? Yeah, she's trying hard to hold on to that gold, bro. I mean, I've seen she's been going at Kayla hardcore, trying to either set up a fight or just kind of talking that shit, you know. So.
And I mean, Kayla's gonna do in a way not the same, but I think kind of like Chandler. She's not here for a long time. She's not here for a good time. She's not here for a long time. She's for a good time.
Yeah, and I mean that's true. I mean, I want to say Kayla Harrison. She has to be like
33.
She's 33. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Time's ticking for her too. So we'll see, man. We'll see. Moving forward, but yeah, just to kind of close out this topic, I don't know what the fuck the PFL is doing with Chris Cyborg, man. It's
dropping the fucking ball, dude. That's what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah,
that's what the fuck they're doing, Josh. They're dropping the goddamn fucking ball.
Dropping the goddamn ball. I completely agree with you. I completely agree.
They should have hired me.
Hey, why haven't we been hired? If UFC's not going to hire us, man, what's going on? You know,
they're not going to hire me. We're right here. They're not going to hire me as a matchmaker or one of the matchmakers. The PFL should hire me then. 100%. I could definitely make some banger fights. Make some 100%. Good suggestions.
We're gonna book Francis Ngannou versus Jake Paul, the fight, the biggest fight of the century.
Jesus Christ!
It's the fight to make. You can hate it. It's the truth.
Ben Askren versus Jake Paul in MMA.
I wouldn't actually mind that. But he'll turn him into a fucking pretzel, dude. I'm down with that. Anyways, man. Next up, this was the most. I wasn't sure if it was like depressing or like. It was also kind of unsurprising too. Tyson Fury versus Oleksandr Usyk has been postponed. It'll now be going down May 18th, allegedly. This is the second straight time that Fury has pulled out of the fight and postponed it. And that was after it took a year for them to book it anyways. And apparently it was due to a cut that Fury suffered in sparring. Some video got released of that sparring match that led to him pulling out. The cut's real. But I saw that Aegis Kilmas, Oleksandr Usyk's manager, was like, that cut wasn't inflicted in sparring. He had his bitch hit him with a frying pan. That's what happened. Yeah. Quote me on that. And I'm like, man, they're getting really fed up with this guy, aren't they?
Yeah, they don't give a fuck.
Which, I get it, dude. I get it. I mean, we've been talking about Oleksandr Usyk versus Tyson Fury for 2 years now.
Probably longer than that. We had even mentioned it before that, probably at some point.
Yeah, I mean, when did he beat AJ? I think 2021.
Somewhere around there.
Yeah, so I mean, and I remember whenever Usyk Fury was like, hey, I'm not going to fight him unless he takes a 70-30 split. And he was like, okay. And then Fury was like, never mind, I'm not going to fight him anyway. Yeah.
Just kidding.
Just kidding. And then it took, fucking Saudi Arabia getting involved. And I don't know, man. I would totally be pissed off if I were Usyk and his team too. So I get it. And I'm a big Fury fan too, but it's just like, man, like, fuck. Anyways, man, I mean, it'll be going down in May, hopefully May 18th from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. The stakes are still the same. The winner of this will be crowned the first undisputed heavyweight champion since Lennox Lewis, the Lion, accomplished it 24 years ago. And the winner of this fight hoping to join him in history. Any closing thoughts on this one? For me, there's not a whole lot to add, really.
No, not much out of what you've already mentioned.
No, 100%, man. 100%.
This sucks we have to wait. Simple as that. Unfortunate situation, right? I see Fury's pulling the good old Oliveira. No, I was kidding.
Yeah, man. It's definitely frustrating. Definitely frustrating. That's all I got to say. Very frustrating. This is our last topic of the day. It's not even MMA or boxing related. We just got to send out support to our boy, the one and only, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. # we want Cody. We're wrestling fans. I feel like I had to bring it up, honestly, too, because we talked about how The Rock joined the TKO board of directors. So he has a role in, both the UFC and the WWE. And that son of a bitch came back and instantly put himself in the main event of WrestleMania.
Does he actually have that kind of power? Do we know? Like that kind of power for him to come in and be like, yeah, I'm main eventing WrestleMania.
Yeah, I mean, from my understanding, yes, he's one of the main. I believe he's a higher role in the WWE than Triple H does, who books the show. Yeah, and even brought in his own. He's pulling a Black Adam. He's pulling a Black Adam, dude. Where he pretty much came in and like he first got cast in the role and then just brought in all of his people and tried to overhaul everything. Same thing playing out, but in the world of the professional wrestling, you know? So, hashtag we want Cody, dog. Gotta send some support out to our boy because, you know, it's been trending on Twitter for the last, like, ever since The Rock returned, it's been trending on Twitter. So,
what were the tweets at? Where did it peak at that you saw?
I mean, I don't even know, but I know that it was trending nonstop. I don't know if it's still trending now, but it was trending nonstop for a week. And today they're going to have a presser out at Las Vegas. So,
dude, everything's going down in Vegas this weekend.
I know, it's a big fucking week, dude. Vegas is popping. But, yeah, dude, they're going to have a press conference this week.
Also, Josh, why were you climbing the sphere?
I was not drunk.
By the way, godly tweet.
Yeah, I thought that was really funny, too. I mean, I saw that guy climbing that shit. I'm like, man, that's Vegas for you, bro.
Dude, how'd that fucker get up there? Do we know? I know it's like completely off topic right now.
No. I know you're good. I mean, I have no idea how he got up. Maybe he was just built different and just, you know.
I fucking hate you.
He was just built different. He was like, yo, I'm gonna get on. It was like that one time that you were on top of that statue, you know, like
Jesus Christ,
deep cut.
you know.
Yeah, if you know. Yeah, I mean that's probably it. I don't know, man. Shout out that guy though. I saw that he was climbing up, and I did not look into the story anymore because I just wanted it, you know, like I just.
You know, speaking about Vegas, we didn't even have this on the rundown. But what about that the Rising guy meeting up with Dana? Another promoter meeting up with Dana, did?
Yeah, Sake Ibarra meeting up with Dana. I mean, I think. Yeah, Sake Ibarra. Yeah, I mean, he's always had a good relationship with Dana. We learned from the UFC antitrust lawsuit that they paid him like $10 million to fuck off after they bought out Pride. They were like, yo, like, here's a couple mil, you know.
Also, they had that fuck situation with the contracts. You remember that?
Yeah. I think the deal was that Pride only did one fight deals or very short-term deals with their fighters. So that way, whenever they got bought out, the UFC was like, hey, buddy, can't wait to book all these guys. And you're like, yeah, about that. Like, you're going to get fucking...
No, but there was a situation with Ryzen. Don't you remember that? Where the UFC was going to sign a guy from Ryzen, but there were some contractual issues there, and they weren't able to actually sign him.
Oh, I did not know about that. No.
Wasn't there? I could have sworn. I could be messing it up. I could be thinking of the wrong guy, but I thought there was at one point.
I know. Yeah, I mean, I only know that they were going to go ahead and what realistically I think is going to happen. I think realistically we're going to get Koji Horiguchi in the UFC.
You think so?
Yeah.
Or do you think more Fight Pass?
No. I think Fight Pass doesn't make sense. I think that other one doesn't make sense.
Yeah, because they're on the Superior app, Fight TV. Right?
Excuse me, Angel. It's Triller TV now, buddy.
Formerly known as Fight TV.
Yeah, I mean, jokes aside, I mean, Ryzen, they do all right on. I mean, I'm not sure how well, but like they still do all right from my understanding. So
but I'm sure a UFC Fight Pass deal would be better than whatever they're on now, right?
I don't know enough about their financials to even say.
I would assume so though. Like, you don't think so?
No, I mean you're probably right. I just don't know for sure.
Yeah, that's what
I don't know how much they make. I have no idea how much they make for pay-per-view, and I also don't know about their broadcasting situation in Japan, which is like their main market. So I don't know if I don't know if they're on pay-per-view in Japan or what their deals are or whatever it may be. But I think realistically,
I'm sure
we're going to end up with Horiguchi maybe even stepping straight into a title shot. Who even knows? Like,
what if they're signing multiple Japanese fighters?
That'd be pretty cool. I mean, I'm very interested to see if it's more than just Horiguchi. But I think Horiguchi makes the most sense. Former UFC guy, won titles in Bellator and in Ryzen. Like, it makes the most sense. That's what's been speculated. But I don't know. Like, I have no insider information on that one.
I wonder when we'll find out what's going on with all these guys.
Hopefully soon. I think Sake Ibarra even said that, like, we'll have something announced soon.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see. Any closing thoughts? Anything else we want to go ahead and mention before we go and bounce out of here, man?
Not much, man. Like I say every week, I'm just excited to come back next week, talk about all the fights, preview the next card, and next week, man, big fucking fight for the year. Volkanovski Topuria, main event in California, man. Me and Josh talked about it privately. We'll finally see what a Volkanovski paycheck looks like. It's a paycheck for some of these other guys. Robert Whitaker, Paulo Costa. I can't think of who else was on the card off the top of my head. But regardless, we'll be seeing that the rehydrations, that how much guys weigh the day of the fight. All of that information will be made public. So we'll see how big Volkanovski is going into the fight. Same with Paulo Costa, same with Rob Rigger, and everybody else on that card.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, please like and subscribe.
Yeah, there you go, man. You would put it well, man. Please like and subscribe. I'm at Josh Evanoff on Twitter or X, whatever the fuck you want to call it. At Angel Ortega _01. I've Courtside Sound for all things related to the show. Approaching 1,400 subscribers strong. So thank you guys for sticking with us, man. Peace and butt grease. Mouse click.